So for those who don't know me, my name is Andrew Rasiej, and I'm the co-founder of this space and this place that you're in. It's called Civic Hall, and it was designed by my partner Amika Sifri and I to take advantage of this amazing growing culture of civic innovation that's happening in our city and in many places around the world, where people are realizing that technology and social good and civic good can be weaved together to solve long-standing problems. And the theory of this place is that there is no secular place where people from multiple disciplines could come together and work on problems, civic and social problems at scale. And when I refer to different disciplines, I'm referring to government officials, technologists, academics, journalists, philanthropists, political activists, social entrepreneurs, and they're married to a determined desire to promote diversity of gender, diversity of color, diversity of economic strata, geography, and of point of political view. And so it's with great pleasure that one of our very first events at Civic Hall is to welcome the Municipal Art Society, which is, in my opinion, as a longstanding New Yorker, one of the perennial pillars and institutions that hold up the civic fabric of not only New York, but of the country. And I'm looking forward to many, many events like this one in the future so that I can say that we've created a place that Municipal Art Society can call home below 23rd Street. And anyway, without further ado, thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the founder of Q2Q and the president of the Municipal Art Society, Vin Cipolla.
Cities are society's economic engine. Places where people come to trade, make their fortune, create, consume, have a new experience, and find new friends, learn, and build a better life for their family. They are places where we see the newest trends and innovation, and where we come to see beauty, art, celebrate achievement, and try experiments. And cities expose us to unbelievable diversity of all kinds. Who creates all the choices and diversity in the city? Well, entrepreneurs do, the risk takers, the solution makers. They come here to invent new ways of doing things, create new products, forge new services, to make people's lives easier, more fun, and productive. Entrepreneurs need real, productive, and affordable places to work and to live. True, whether they're artists makers producing a new piece of furniture or a startup exporter. They gravitate to dense neighborhoods, communities, and urban villages. Why? For stimulation and inspiration, for cheaper places to work and live, usually found in more mixed-use areas. New York City has attracted more entrepreneurs over 3 centuries than any other place in America. But we are concerned that New York's appeal is beginning to wane. Drugstore chains now dominate street corners. Bank branches, most often empty of people, run entire city blocks. Luxury single-use buildings are becoming the norm. Skyrocketing rents are forcing the closure of unique niche shops that make streets vibrant and diverse, turning some of New York's most distinctive streets into anywhere USA. Has our hot real estate market squeezed out startups and creative industries that prefer smaller, flexible workspaces? Have our regulatory systems and legal requirements become too bureaucratic, squelching new ideas? And is the state of our infrastructure, including our public spaces, deterring people from bringing their startups here? For a city like New York to continue to be New York, we have to get this right. MASQ, the Committee for Urban Entrepreneurship, is working with some of the city's most successful entrepreneurs to identify obstacles and to develop an agenda for action to make sure New York City continues to be a place of opportunity and invention, to remain the capital of entrepreneurship. Please join us. Okay, welcome everybody. This is amazing on this ridiculous night. We have a full house. This is absolutely fantastic. It is so gratifying. It wasn't that long ago that, and I can see you out there, a few of us collecting in various living rooms or meeting rooms,
talking about this issue of entrepreneurship and land use and affordability and what was happening in New York, and could innovators and entrepreneurs still come here? Could we afford to be here? What was happening to our neighborhoods? And so we thought that to begin to organize a discussion about those issues and livability and land use in a more intentional city, and whether or not we could get some traction. And clearly, thanks to so many of you in the room tonight, we are definitely getting traction in that policy discussion. So thank you so much. And if some of you have been to our MAS Summit, which is held each October, which began in 2010, you think of us as being this extraordinarily buttoned up, just perfectly paced, group. Well, forget that for tonight, because, well, that will be really good, and it will be paced nicely, I know, because there are a lot of people here to make sure of that. But the idea of this is something very different. And that is that this is a discussion that we really wanted to be, hoped to be owned and driven by entrepreneurs. Really very much of a discussion about amongst those that are starting things in New York, building businesses here of all kinds, looking for real estate, making payrolls, the whole 9 yards, and really getting into the conversation from a place of practitioners, from entrepreneurs and innovators who want to be here, who love this city, are civic in intention, and interested in being part of a conversation that could lead to policy and perhaps even some changes in the way that the city does things. So with that, I'm going to kind of find my way through a couple of notes here, because I've got a few different jobs tonight, and I want to be sure that I hit everything. So again, CUE, the Committee for Urban Entrepreneurship, is specifically focused on the way in which the spatial city, how it is planned, designed, zoned, and regulated, impacts the entrepreneurial environment. That's what our committee is about. We have 4 program areas, which are like around, and you'll hear more about, and there is sort of an organizational structure over the many other program discussions that will take place tonight and tomorrow. But they are diversity and resilience, which mostly focuses on the importance of a diverse economy for social and economic resilience; livability, encouraging those entrepreneurial ecosystems around affordable and flexible workspaces, reliable infrastructure, accessible public spaces, and again, a big shout out and thank you to Andrew for hosting us tonight. Zoning. We have an old, arcane, 50-year-old zoning framework here in New York, which often impedes the spread of entrepreneurial activity. And I would say that land use, given that we are the Municipal Art Society and very involved in the spatial city, one of the oldest civil society organizations in the country, very much concerned about planning and design in the city, that land use is a really big part of the CUE agenda. And then rules and regulations, the proliferation of regulations that increasingly make it difficult for young businesses, immigrant businesses, to get a toehold and foothold in New York. I want to, and this work, CUE, actually grew out of a number of MAS policy initiatives, including our work on the Garment District to help preserve and bring about a more intelligent approach to the Garment District, where we partnered with the Design Trust for Public Space. Andy is here, Yoli is here, other leaders that helped in that effort. Our work on East Midtown rezoning, and in other areas of the city that were considered for really wholesale rezonings, upzonings, where the Municipal Art Society believed, while we're not obviously opposed to development in tall buildings, we felt that a more nuanced approach around diversity was very important. So with that kind of broad introduction, I want to thank the initial CUEites, CUE Advisory Committee, those that joined in this nebulous idea, and stuck together over the last 6 or 7 months to help really bring about this arm of the Municipal Art Society, this force within itself, this growing organization of entrepreneurs and innovators, civic-minded, to take up the charge of entrepreneurship and innovation and how it intersects with land use. So I know half the room is going to stand up when I say this, but with the Q Advisory Committee stand up, I mean, you're all here. So it's like half the room is going to stand up. Right? Don't be shy, stand up. I know who you are. I'm going to call you out if you don't stand up. Okay. Thank you, guys. I should blow kisses to all of you. Thank you. I also want to thank, and I'll do this a few times, Mary Rowe, Tour de Force, MASer, Director of Q, and Lawrence, staff at 2, but the whole MAS staff for everything they're doing. And I want to thank tonight's sponsors of this event, and again, most especially Andrew and Civic Hall, but also the Knight Foundation, Brookings, Goldman Sachs, The Feast, Acres Media Group, Ace Hotel, Ashoka, Wikiberg, Civic Hall again, Venue Magazine, and the World Bank. Tracy, did you ever think that Venue Magazine and the World Bank would be coupled in the same acknowledgments thing? Tracy is the publisher and founder of Venue Magazine. That's a pretty cool thing, Only at Q do these things happen. All right, so I think I did everything I'm supposed to do, right, Mary? Is there more that I'm supposed to say? I'm ready to introduce, okay. I think I'm skipping over one introduction and going right to the next. These are going to be a series of really fast talks that are just going to blow your mind. And the first 5 minutes each with slides that are going to advance every minute. I'm reading my stage notes. And it's my great pleasure to bring up to the podium the Manhattan Borough President, Gail Brewer. Gail, thank you for being here.